This all comes down to exactly what Karam said. Utilities don't want to give up any sort of power or hold with their customers. They do not like the idea of, they've actually implemented laws that require direct metering because they want to make sure that they keep control and connection to the customers. They can bill all of the customers all the non-bypassable charges and fees separately, and that they want to make sure that these solutions that help deploy more solar wherever it is, and especially to multifamily building, do not rise the level of adoption that homeowners have, because it's a serious threat to their current and future revenue, as well as their current and future profits. Utilities make money based on infrastructure, transmission and distribution infrastructure. They get a 10 to 12% rate of return on that. So by reducing demand on the system from these properties with installed solar and storage, and even again, like consolidating customer accounts into one billing function, that for them is a huge threat to their current and future business model. And that is the main reason we are here today dealing with this. They have then attempted.
Let's unpack that for a second, Allie, because the way a utility like Southern Edison or PG&E, the way they make money is they create these enormous capital expenditure projects, whether it's a big generation facility or more transmission and distribution lines, and they then get the permission from the California Public Utility Commission, which their job is to protect the energy user of the state of California. That's their job. That's their claimed job. And they want to protect that relationship because that's their revenue. But we're basically, as energy users, we've paid for that infrastructure. So don't we own that, not them? Don't the energy users of California own that infrastructure and not them?
That's the way it should be. And especially in, like, you look, think in multifamily building with these new real estate developments, not only that, but the developers are the ones that build and the infrastructure, the delivery infrastructure that serves these properties. And then they are forced to deed it over to the utilities at a rate that includes the cost and the aid of construction. So ongoing, percentages of the fees. They build it, they pay for it, and then they are forced to deed it over to the utilities, who then operate it and again get their guaranteed rate of return over the long term. Yeah. We ratepayers have paid for the grid many, many times over. There's a big notion in this proceeding and others about this notion of paying your fair share of grid costs, that they've successfully poisoned the well, both in the CPUC and the legislature, and trying to assert that solar customers are not paying their fair share of grid costs, even though we absolutely have. And many of our costs continue to be paid through non-bypassable charges where solar can't even offset those costs. They don't want to give an inch. That is the bottom line. There's a big enough pie for everyone to go around. Like, even if we deployed all of these last mile solutions at every multifamily building, it would actually make the utilities' jobs easier. They would lose hardly any revenue and profit, but this would allow for a lot more market innovation and help reduce demand on the system, which again, the core issue is that when you reduce demand on the system, it reduces the need for more infrastructure build out, like you said, these capital intensive assets. And for them, they're looking at the long game of when there's less T&D need, then there is less profit for them. So